Good morning, everyone. My name is Amanda Waldhart, and you are here with Amanda'sInspirationStation.com. And today, for our weekly Wednesday, we are going to work on a stamp set that actually has been around for a long time. It was a celebration stamp set quite a few years ago, and it is called Hey Chick. And Stampin' Up actually brought it back, which is exciting because I think it's adorable. And this time when they brought it back, they brought back dies to go with it. And I love the dies. I honestly think that I like the dies more than I like the stamp set. So if that's my truth right there. I think you can do a lot of stuff with the dies and you don't even have to have the stamp set. Although you probably will want the stamp set because you don't want chicken stuff without a chicken. So we are going to do that, but I do want to show you a page here. Yep, here we go. On page 52, oops, I'm ripping my book here. Wow, this Post-it note's a strong one. I was just trying to move it out of the way. Ooh, look at that. Anyway, on page 52, we also have in your mini catalog, we have the Hey Birthday stamp set. And they also came out with dies for that one as well. So the stamp set came out in the mini, and then they re-released the Hey Chick stamp set with matching dies and some dies that match this. So the dies are not in the mini, but I do have them posted to a link underneath. If you are interested in that. But we're not doing the Hey Birthday. We're just going to do the Hey Chick. The other stamp set that I'm going to use today is the All Wired Up. I mean, how adorable is this? So I have two cards that we're going to do today. This is the first card that we're going to do today. It's just kind of my random Mod Podge card that I like to call. I just kind of randomly do some stuff. And I think it turns out adorable and I love it. So that's one of the cards. And then the other card we're going to do, we're going to have some fun things because we're going to use the background stamp set, but we're also going to use our blends. So we have a couple blends here that we're going to do. We're going to do the light cinnamon cider, the light crumb cake, and then the poppy parade. And we're also going to use the color lifter, which I'm going to tell you what we're going to use that for when we get to that. And then this circle here, we're actually going to use a little Coastal Cabana ink along with a blending brush. If you have not tried these yet, they are wonderful. Sadly, they are not available to order right now. And it looks like we will be getting them. I'm sorry, I think I'm moving you guys. Did I move you guys too far? There we go. It looks like they are to be scheduled to come back at the end of March. So hopefully you guys have one of these, but if not, they will be coming back. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start on this one first. And I have my stamps already, but I need to get out the dies. So you're going to have your card base, which measures at 5.5 by 8.5. Now, if you score it in the center, I'm going to just kind of dump these right here. If you score it in the center, you're going to score it at 4 1/4. But I'm not going to score it. I like to just kind of do the half, do the little pinch there. And then I like to use my bone folder because I like to really varnish in that crease. It makes it so that the card stays flat and doesn't stay like that. So that's what I like to do. We are going to use 2 pieces of our basic white. One's going to be on the outside, one's going to be on the inside. They're the same size. So they're going to measure at 4 by 5 1/4. Then we have 2 pieces of designer series paper. Now this designer series paper is from the Garden Dandy or Dandy Garden 6x6 designer series paper. I do not like this pattern at all, but I love the bumblebee color. And these are just 3x2s. So these are just 3x2s because I kind of just randomly like to Mod Podge those. Then we have some scrap paper. So we have cinnamon cider because we're going to run this through our cut and emboss machine because we need the little chicken coop. We have Coastal Cabana because we have a sign here. We have cornstalk. So we have Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to run that through. And then, of course, we're going to do our chicken. And we're going to do that in Bermuda Bay. And then we'll stamp him out too, or her, and put her there. So I'm going to set these aside over here. And let's go ahead and do our die cutting first, because then that way we can stamp and put our card together. So I'm going to set this aside here. I'm going to grab these, but we actually need to stamp one thing before we run through the cut and emboss machine. So I'm going to get out my Bermuda Bay here, and I'm going to stamp my chicken. I don't know a lot about chickens. I really don't. I have a lot of friends who actually have their own chickens, but I do not know a lot about them. I think that I would love to be able to go in my backyard and just pick my own eggs. I think that would be wonderful, but it just seems like a lot of work, and I don't have that in me to do that. So I will not be owning my own chickens. All right, so let's get the cut and emboss machine, and we're going to bring it back here. All right, so we're going to line up our little chick here. And I don't want this to slide when I'm running this through. So I am going to put a little piece of washi tape on it. And we all have washi tape. I just know it. I know we do. I have a big, huge, like one of those big, huge mason jars just filled with washi tape. All right, I don't need all this paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it and cut some of it off. There we go. Now, the plates I have the one big base plate, the two, and then I have the 3 clear plate, and then I'm putting the other 3 clear plate over top, because that's what you do when you're doing die cutting. All right, so get that out of the way. And we should have all of our little pieces here. There's our little sign. There's our little chicken, which we don't need that anymore. We have our little coop here, that's cute. And then we have our little corn stalk here. And stalk. I think I said stock. I didn't mean to say stock. I meant to say stalk. All right, so there's that. So now we have all of that. So now we are going to get out our bumblebee, because we are going to stamp on the background here. So we're going to stamp randomly all over. So let me just go like this to make sure. Okay. So we're just going to kind of randomly stamp our chicken, because basically what I'm doing is I'm just kind of creating a background is all I'm really doing. There we go. And maybe just put the legs there. All right. There's that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to place this flat on our card. So I got my Stampin' Seal here. We're just going to place that flat. Now on the inside, I did not put any saying. You can put whatever saying you want. So let's go ahead and just put our inside here. I think Bermuda Bay is a little dark, so I like to put this in there. And technically what would be cute is if then we stamped the little chicken in there. But you know what? Let's do it. Let's stamp the little chicken in there. There. Now we have it like that. Super cute. And let's do it for this one too. I like it. Okay. It's just a little add-on right there. It's super cute. All right, so we got that. So now we want to go ahead and we want to randomly place our designer series pieces. And so I just kind of randomly angled that like that, and then randomly angled that like that. Those are like I said, they're kind of like my little Mod Podge things. So before we put the rest of it together, we do need to stamp on our little sign. We're going to put "Have a Happy Day." So we're going to stamp that. And there we go. Have a happy day. Now, these ones are all going to get popped up, so I'm going to get out my dimensionals. We all know that Miss Amanda loves her dimensionals. Okay. And we're going to do that. Now, let's go ahead, before we place these, let's go ahead and glue our stalk. Because it's little, I do like to use my multi-liquid adhesive glue. And I'm just going to kind of do dot, 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 not a lot. That's what I learned in school. Dot, dot, not a lot when it comes to glue. See? Oops. That little chickie wanted to come with me. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. All right, so let's slide those up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to kind of place this right there. Then I'm going to kind of place my chicken right there. The little coop right there. See, it's kind of like a Mod Podge card. And I'm just going to kind of tuck that in and do it like that. Voila. I love these little Mod Podge cards. That's what I call them. Because I'm like just randomly like Mod Podging things on them. And I love them. They're just cute. They turn out cute. And then you can write your sentiment. You can either write something or put another sentiment in there. Super cute. All right, let's move on to the second card. So for the second card, we are going to need this all wired up. So I have this one in the wood block. And I will tell you why I actually have it in the wood block. Because I used to find that it was easy to put it on the wood block. I could ink this up, which I'm going to show you, and do it this way. But now when I purchase them, you do have the option to purchase them in the wood or the Klingon. I actually like the Kling better because now I use my Stamparatus. The Stamparatus is perfect for so many things, but for sure perfect for background stamps, especially because sometimes when you're stamping a background stamp, if you're stamping it like this, you may miss some of the middle. You can always go back with the Stamparatus. But the way that I do it on here, I generally don't have a problem missing things. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a way to do this as well. We're going to use our smoky slate. And we're just going to ink it all up. And you want to ink it up. You want to make sure you're inking it really good. So get it all over there. Then you're going to place your piece of cardstock that you want, that you're, stamping on. This is a piece of basic white and it measures at 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm just going to lay that on there. And then what I'm going to do is I like to take any scrap paper, but or grid paper. I take a junky old Stamparatus grid paper and I rub it over there. You can use computer paper, whatever you want. And then you're just going to kind of rub it. This way, make sure you're rubbing in the middle so that way it gets all inked up. Okay. Now, if I pull this out, I have all of it. So if you have a wooden block, this is the way to go. I find this is the easiest way than inking it and then doing it this way. I think that's hard. I think you miss things. This would be what I would recommend. But if you don't and you're using a clear, then I would definitely use your Stamparatus. It's perfect. It's perfect for that. All right, I'm just going to kind of wipe that up with my chamois. I couldn't even think of the word. You guys, seriously. I'm in my 40s. Let's just say that. I am definitely in my 40s, and I swear the second I turned 40, I got to the point where like I want to talk and I want to say something and I have the word like right at the tip of my tongue, but it doesn't ever want to come out. Do you guys have that happen? It's like, I do. I'm trying to say something and I know what I want to say, but I can't say it. All right. And it's just, going downhill. It's going downhill. The older I get, the more forgetful I get. All right, so here's my card base. I'm using the basic white in thick. And again, 5.5 by 8.5. If you want to score it, it would be at 4 1/4. I just folded it in half and used my bone folder. Now, before I place this down, we're going to wrap it with some linen thread, but we're going to wait a minute on that because we're actually going to take this stitched shape circle die, which I do want to show you that I use the largest one. So out of the stitched shapes, I used the largest one to cut this out. And we're going to get out our Coastal Cabana ink pad. And we're going to get out our blending brush because these are fun. And I just kind of go in a circular motion. And I don't press hard by any means. I just press a little firm, but not hard at all. And then I literally am just going to go in a circular motion like this. I'm just kind of giving it like a light blue background. And how dark you want it is totally up to you. And then we're just going to kind of go like this. So this one actually turned out a little bit darker than that one, and that's totally fine. It does not bother me. All right, so with this one, we have some scrap pieces of paper here. We have the Granny Apple Green for the stalk, which I have a very large piece of. So I, again, am going to cut some of this off because I can use that for another piece. Then we have this for the Coastal Cabana for the sign. We're going to do that. Cut that off. I save my scraps, even these little guys. I have an IKEA drawer. It's one of those Alex drawers. And it has 9 drawers. And I have all my scraps in there, all divided out by like pinks, reds, yellow and oranges and corals are in one. I have greens, blues. Yeah. I did post that on my blog a couple months ago. Maybe in January, I think I posted that. But it's wonderful and I love it. So, all right. So let's go ahead and move these because we're going to have to get out our, we're going to have to get our cut and emboss machine back here again. I like to be organized. I am definitely a girl who likes her craft stuff organized. But of course, before I had those drawers, I did used to just put it in one big plastic tote. But then my problem is that so much of it got on the bottom that I was missing like half my stuff. Like there was so much there, but I just couldn't get it. All right, so we're going to do the corn. We're going to bring it back this little green here too, because we're going to use these little guys here. What's nice about these dies too is that there's actually more than one corn die. You don't have to, if you want 4 pieces of corn, you don't have to run it through your machine 4 different times. They actually give you 4, which I love that. That's my favorite. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. Now, I did forget to do my little chick, so we're going to stamp, I'm just going to stamp him. It's the same one that we did, same chick that we did before. I'm just going to use Memento and stamp him real quick. I know that was kind of off camera, and I'm sorry. And then we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to line them up. Now let's get out our washi tape because I don't need it sliding everywhere. All right. All right. Think we're good. We good? We're good. All right, let's run this through. And just run it all through in one big swoop. All right. Let's get that out of the way. See, one big swoop. There's our little chicken. We have the coop. We have the sign. We have the stalk. Not stock, stalk. And then we have, oopsie, some of my dies came over there, so we'll just put them over there. And then we have these little guys for the corn. Now, it looks like I'm going to need my pokey tool for this one, which is fine. All right. All right. There's that. Okay. So now we need just one more thing. We just need our linen thread because we're going to wrap that around a couple of times. So let's see. This one doesn't, I don't know if I have that much with this one. Well, let's see. Yep, that's perfect. That looks perfect to me. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, on the back, I'm on the sides here, I'm just going to put a little adhesive because I am going to use dimensionals to actually attach this to the card. But I want some adhesive so that I can go ahead and wrap it around like this. So I'm going to wrap it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. You know what? I lied. I'm going to wrap it 4 times because that's all I have here. So enough to do 4, and we're going to do 4. I'm going to snip off that little extra. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the dimensionals, and now I'm going to kind of put them right there, but you don't want to saggy center there. All right, and we're going to pop these up. I think this Hey Chick is so cute. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and we're going to place that on my card. There we go. Now we're going to pop this up too, because why not? We're just going to pop, pop, pop. Amanda loves dimensionals. All right. I didn't like how this spot got kind of like a little dark, so I'm going to kind of angle that in the bottom corner because I think that's where I'm going to put my chick here. See, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and glue our stalk on first because we're going to be doing some gluing here. Remember, dot, dot, not a lot. And we're going to, I know other people, there's got to be teachers out here who are watching this and say, yep, I say that to my kids all the time. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue that on, leaving that. Now what we're going to do, and what I did is, and you can totally do this if you wanted to, or you can use little glue dots, but since I have my glue here, I'm just going to do this. I'm literally just going to put it on like that. I'm just attaching these, and then I'm going to use the glue dots to attach them. So I'm just going to make the little corn real quick. There's 1 corn, 2 corn. Okay. Got a little glue on my fingers. This is probably why some people don't like to do the glue. Because if you get it... And there we go. So there's our corn. Okay. Trying to make this. There we go. There's our corn. Now let's go ahead and grab our glue dots and let's just on the back of our corn put a glue dot. And then we're just going to randomly place them. Randomly place them. There we go. Then I have another one right there. And then I have it like one fell. And the like chicken is eating it. All right. Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and do our sign 2. We're going to do the sign that says, Hey Chick. So we're just going to stamp Hey Chick in our memento. And then we're going to flip it over and put a glue dot. And we're just going to kind of pop that there. And then we'll put also our glue dots on our little chicken coop here. And we'll do that there. All right, and now we're going to do our chicken. So now we have to color. So this is fun. We're going to color, color, color. All right, so again, I have the light crumb cake, light cinnamon cider, light poppy parade, and the color lifter. So the light poppy parade is literally just for the top here. There's a little gobble there. Now on this one, my black kind of blended in the beak. This one doesn't have that. So you know what? Let's grab our dark pumpkin pie. Let's do a little beak there. There we go. All right, so I just added one. All right, so now I'm going to do the light crumb cake all the way. All the way. I'm just going to kind of color it in. And we're just going to do this. All right. Then I'm going to take the light cinnamon cider. And this is where around the head in the front here. And kind of right up into the wing. I'm just kind of doing like circular motions here. But see now how I want this to blend a little softer. This is where I'm going to take the color lifter and I'm just going to go over that line just a little bit and into this just to kind of get it so that it blends a little bit more. And then I'll go over again with the crumb cake. And that way it's just kind of blending a little bit more. See how it's giving it more of like a softer look and not that straight line. When it dries, it'll kind of dry like that. And I love how that looks. So let's now put our dimensionals on. And we'll do this. And then we'll put the chick right there because the chick is eating the corn. So voila, there we have it. These are our 2 cards, our Hey Chick cards. I hope you guys like this. Now the links below takes you straight to this because it is not in our annual catalog or our mini catalog if you want those. So there's that. And if you want to shop, this is where you just go to Amanda's Inspiration Station. Please use that hostess code. If your order is $150 or more, do not use that hostess code. You would collect your own rewards. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's Weekly Wednesday. Plus, on the blog too, you have a printable project sheet with this. Project sheets are nice because they just show the colored pictures. It shows the supply list and the measurements. Okay. Have a great day. See you next Wednesday. Bye.